Mexican standoff. A Mexican standoff is a three-person duel. In a two-person duel, the person who shoots first has the advantage. In a Mexican duel, it is different. If person A shoots B, then person C has the advantage as they can shoot person A while they are busy. So, in a Mexican standoff, nobody wants to be the first one to shoot. As well as this, nobody can take the risk of backing down. The Cold War between the USA and the Soviet Union is often described as being a Mexican standoff, with neither country prepared to be the first to risk using nuclear weapons. Lesser of two evils. When faced with selecting from two immoral options, the least immoral one should be chosen. The principle is most often invoked in reference to binary political choices under systems that make it impossible to express a sincere preference for one's favorite. Trolley problem. The agent is on a trolley, a fast-moving cart that can only run on a track. It is not an automobile that can be driven off the edge of a road, and it must stay on a track. Ahead of the agent, 5 people are standing on the track, where the trolley will run over them and kill them. The agent has no way to stop the trolley. The only thing the agent can do is throw a switch to make the trolley change onto a different track. On this second track, there is one person. None of the 6 people have time to move out of the way. If the agent does nothing, the trolley will kill 5 people. If the agent throws the switch, the trolley will kill 1 person. The trolley problem does not have a right or wrong answer. Instead, it is a way to make people think and talk about what makes actions good or bad and why. Red pill and blue pill. The terms red pill and blue pill refer to a choice between the willingness to learn a potentially unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill or remaining in contented ignorance with the blue pill. The terms refer to a scene in the 1999 film The Matrix. Morton's fork. Under Henry VII, John Morton was made Archbishop of Canterbury in 1486 and Lord Chancellor in 1487. He rationalized requiring the payment of a benevolence, which is a tax to King Henry, by reasoning that someone living modestly must be saving money and therefore could afford the benevolence, whereas someone living extravagantly was obviously rich and therefore could also afford the benevolence. Volunteer's Dilemma. The Volunteer's Dilemma is a game that models a situation in which each player can either make a small sacrifice that benefits everybody, or instead wait in hope of benefiting from someone else's sacrifice. One example is a scenario in which the electricity supply has failed for an entire neighborhood. All inhabitants know that the electricity company will fix the problem as long as at least one person calls to notify them, at some cost. If no one volunteers, the worst possible outcome is obtained for all participants. If any one person elects to volunteer, the rest benefit by not doing so. In this game, bystanders decide independently on whether to sacrifice themselves for the benefit of the group. Because the volunteer receives no benefit, there is a greater incentive for free riding than to sacrifice oneself for the group. If no one volunteers, everyone loses. Hobson's choice. A Hobson's choice is a free choice in which only one thing is actually offered. The term is often used to describe an illusion that multiple choices are available. The best known Hobson's choice is, "I'll give you a choice, take it or leave it," wherein leaving it is strongly undesirable. False dilemma. False dilemma, also called the either-or fallacy. Us versus them fallacy, black or white fallacy, false dichotomy, or the fallacy of false choice, is a mistaken logic that allows only 2 possibilities when more than 2 exist. For example, there is either-or fallacy in saying that an apple must be green or red. The premise is that the apple is either one color or another, but this beginning is a mistake because some apples, not most, are other colors. In other words, most apples are red or green, but some are also yellow. Zugzwang. Zugzwang is a chess term. It means a situation where any move by a player will weaken the player's position. The fact that the player is compelled to move means that their position will become significantly weaker. Prisoner's dilemma. The police catch 2 criminals after they committed a crime. The police do not know which person committed the crime and which person just helped. They question the 2 in separate cells. Each prisoner can either stay silent or betray the other by blaming the crime on them. If both stay silent, they only go to jail for 2 years. If one betrays and the other stays silent, the one that stays silent goes to jail for 10 years, and the other one does not go to jail at all. If they both betray each other, they each go to jail for 5 years. No matter what happens, the prisoners will never see each other again. Catch-22. Catch-22s often result from rules, regulations, or procedures that an individual is subject to, but has no control over, because to fight the rule is to accept it. A situation in which someone is in need of something that can only be had by not being in need of it. For example, the only way to qualify for a loan is to prove to the bank that you do not need a loan. Hedgehog Dilemma, also called the Porcupine Dilemma, is a metaphor about the challenges of human intimacy. It describes a situation in which a group of hedgehogs seek to move close to one another to share heat during cold weather. They must remain apart, however, as they cannot avoid hurting one another with their sharp spines. Though they all share the intention of a close reciprocal relationship, this may not occur, for reasons they cannot avoid. Judgement of Solomon. The Judgement of Solomon is a story from the Hebrew Bible in which Solomon ruled between two women who both claimed to be the mother of a child. Solomon ordered the baby be cut in half, with each woman to receive one half. The first woman accepted the compromise as fair, but the second begged Solomon to give the baby to her rival, preferring the baby to live, even without her. Solomon ordered the baby given to the second woman, as her love was selfless, as opposed to the first woman's selfish disregard for the baby's actual well-being. You are either with us or against us. In political communication, the phrase, "you are either with us or against us," and similar variations are used to generate polarization and reject non-partisanship. The implied consequence of not joining the partisan effort of the speaker is to be deemed an enemy. A contemporary example is the statement of former U.S. President George W. Bush, who declared at the launch of his anti-terrorism campaign, "Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists." Double bind. A double bind is a dilemma in communication in which an individual or group receives two or more reciprocally conflicting messages. In some scenarios, for example within families or romantic relationships, this can be emotionally distressing, creating a situation in which a successful response to one message results in a failed response to the other and vice versa, such that the person responding will automatically be perceived as in the wrong, no matter how they respond. This double bind prevents the person from either resolving the underlying dilemma or opting out of the situation. Thanks for watching.